So quick morning update. I usually do it when I'm packed up and on the road, but you see I'm still set up because there's still 1,000 little ticks crawling on my tent. And where I'm from, ticks are pretty dangerous out east. They can carry Lyme disease. These are bigger than the deer ticks we have, but I'm going to deal with that. Anyway, I just wanted to have a quick morning conversation. I looked at the map yesterday. I'm 37 miles from Abiquiu, staying at the Abiquiu Inn for 2 days, which should be nice. It's expensive. My wife booked it, and I'm going to enjoy it. The thing I want to talk about is this is my vacation, and I looked at the map, and I'm going through hundreds of miles of basically mud, monsoons, and desert. And first off, my gears aren't shifting right because I spent 2 days in the mud. Yesterday the mud was so heavy I couldn't even pick up the bike. I just left it there, and I'm sure it rained all night. So if it rained before midnight, that makes 6 times it rained yesterday, and it rained after midnight, so it's already rained once today. Anyway, the bike's not shifting right. There's no bike shops until I think Silver City. So what I think I'm going to do, I looked at the map, and this may be crazy, but I'm going through some beautiful New Mexico country. There's Taos to the east, Santa Fe's close, even Albuquerque sounds nice, and then to the west I can hit Route 66 and go through Gallup and Flagstaff and all these things. And I just don't understand why I need to finish the Great Divide just to go through a bunch of desert with no water and mud, just to go there when I can ride just as many miles, not go to the border, and hit some really beautiful towns in New Mexico that I'll probably never be to again. So I've got 40 miles into Abiquiu to have that conversation. The thing is, like, I'm a big hiker, and I always wanted to through hike the AT. And when you get to the end of the Appalachian Trail, you have Mount Katahdin, you have the Whites, some of the most beautiful places I've ever been to. But there's nothing down there other than to complete the Great Divide bike route. So I'm going to decide what I'm going to do today, and I may just pull out my Komoot touring app and hit Santa Fe and go east on Route 66 and do some things like that. If I do, I'll let you know. I'm not going to film it because it's not the Great Divide, but why not see some beautiful country versus just slogging it out? Plus, in the last 4 days, I've camped alone. Other than the fire warden, I didn't see a single person yesterday. I only saw one guy for 5 minutes the day before. And it's my vacation and my video, and I may end up doing that. The other thing I'll say is, if I'm not on a mud-infested death road, I'm on the highway. I was on the highway for 20 miles yesterday, so I might as well find secondary roads on Komoot and sightsee a bit. So I'll make that decision when I'm in the Abiquiu Inn and I look at the maps and commute better. But no one watches these anyway, but if you can, go ahead and shit on me for not finishing to the border if that's what I do. But I'll see some beautiful sights, and I'll make that decision probably tonight. Oh, one addendum to that last post, and maybe I didn't make it clear. I'm a little worried about my gears not shifting after being encrusted in mud for 2 days. And the last thing I want to do is be stranded out here. I have all the supplies to fix a flat and a spoke and a bunch of other things, but I don't know how to make my bike shift better because I've been trying for a while, 2 days, and if it gets worse, I'm in big trouble. So I'm packing up my tent, and I know, again, probably nobody watched these, but if anybody, I don't know if macro works on these things, but on this GoPro, but if anyone knows what all these, they look like ticks to me. They're all over the tent. If anyone knows what those are, can you let me know? Okay, so we've got a problem in New Mexico. I'm not sure if these dogs are friendly or not. I actually sprayed them with my bear spray once. I'm gonna spray them again. No, go away. Go away. Alright, keep away from me, guys. Keep away. At least my bear spray works. I don't trust any dogs out here in New Mexico. I said I wasn't going to film much, but this is the town of Canyon Plaza. Canyon Plaza, New Mexico. Beautiful valley. There's supposed to be a post office here with running water, but I've grown to learn that I don't trust any water sources anymore. That's why I'm carrying this stupid thing on my bike. I knew I said I wasn't going to film much, but I'm 30 miles out of Abiquiu, and New Mexico looks really nice. The problem with the trail is it's either pavement or terribly rocky and rutted and muddy, but the landscape is beautiful. A lot more evergreens and not so much of that sagebrush stuff I saw in southern Colorado. So I'd take you along for the ride on this fairly mellow downhill. This must be a poor county, a lot of like abandoned stuff. And I saw my first junk pile in the woods. Very pretty here. One more thing, since I said I wasn't going to film much today, look at that sun right there, and look at the beautiful blue skies. You'd never know it's going to rain 5 times today. Well, here's the post office so I can get water. I'm going to stop in and fill up, because you never know when I need water. He said there was a tap around back. So the fire warden said there's, oh, by the way, anybody watching is planning on doing the Great Divide. This thing looks like it's open 24/7, and it's warm and dry. It would be how far we've come to think that would be a great place to sleep. Anyway, let's go find the faucet. And now the next thing I'm worried about now in New Mexico on the Great American Death Ride is rattlesnakes and scorpions. Being from the East Coast, you never know. I'm sure they're out here, plus the black widows. Oh, look at that. This is so much for water. At least I didn't get bit by anything. Alright, back on the bike. More New Mexico stuff. Can't see them. There's a dog right there, and a dog right there. And look what I have. So see what happens. I'm going to put my camera away because I need 2 hands on the bear spray. I had to film a bit. I didn't realize that. Oh, there's 2 dogs over there. You can see them. They didn't move, actually. They must have been sprayed before. Anyway, this is the town of Vallecito. I'll try to give you a quick tour. We got one more guy to worry about right here. That's my crappy shifting. Better get out of here. I hear growling. Okay, good boy. Good job. There's another dog. There's 2 more dogs. Jesus. Some scary shit. Anyway, this is downtown Vallecito, New Mexico. There's like new vehicles. I saw a Land Rover a minute ago. I haven't pulled my bear spray ever. And now it's sitting right here in my hand. See it? There's a beware of dog sign. Look at this. Passing Asshole's Garage. Okay, this guy I'm not too worried about, but I'm prepared. Hey buddy. Yeah, it's okay. You're a good boy. Yeah, you know what? Going through Santa Fe doesn't look so bad right now. I'm making my decision. You know, so far it's been crappy roads, mud that stopped me for 3 hours at a time and ruined my bike. And highways, now I gotta worry about whatever. Anyway, you get the picture. I'm gonna start booking a little bit. So, I've seen a lot of cows and I've seen a lot of horses, but there's a cow right there, a bunch of cows, but I've never seen cows and horses together. And I don't know if you can see down there, that guy is laying down and the other 2 guys are laying down, and I never saw that. Oop, and there's one more of some species. That looks like a cow over there laying down. So this was just interesting, seeing the cows and the horses together. I guess eventually the cowboys will get on the horses and wrangle the cows down to the feedlot, but that's another story for another day. Right now everything's good with them. Quick video. Public access warning, hazardous conditions. This is your decision point. When you decide to go beyond this sign, you're entering an area with hazardous conditions, blah blah blah, flash flooding, debris flow, rocks falling, logs, blah blah, sneeze check. So it's funny, I just came can't see this. I just came 20 miles from this way, and no one said anything on the Great Divide Mountain Bike ACA route. So it must be safer going that way. So I pointed out. Okay, it's about 11 o'clock and we did a lot. I did a lot of descending. Still doing more descending. We're at 7,000 feet, and in the east that's pretty high. There's nothing as high as 7,000 feet in the northeast or the east. In fact, the highest points I think on the east coast are Clingman's Dome and Mount Washington, around 6,000 feet. But anyway, enough babble. 7,000 feet, this is more like desert now. All the pines are gone, the tall pines or spruces or whatever they are. And you can see we're just going to have washboard road and how the desert is going from mountain to desert. Coming into the bustling town of El Rito, New Mexico. Hello. I'm gonna go stop in the visitor center, see if there's anywhere to eat around here. Right, that was the forest warden station, and I might as well give you the rest of the tour of El Rito, since if you blink we'll be out by it. By the way, she said that you can't get food until tomorrow. Well, look at this guy. So today I think is Monday or Tuesday, and the only place in town is right there, and it's not open till Tuesday. This is the rest of El Rito. Very nice. The Mars Polar Lander. That's pretty cool. That guy was a little irritated by me, but anyway, that's El Rito. Supposedly another town, and 16 miles to Abiquiu. Okay, that lady told me there was no food, but we're at the El Llano General Store. It looks closed, but we'll see. Just passing the El Rito Elementary School, so I thought I'd point it out. And I want to just talk about El Rito for a second. It looks like one of those small, quaint towns, but first time I really haven't felt safe on this trip. That's all I'm going to say. You can read into it as much as you want, but I did not feel safe. And looking forward to getting to Abiquiu. And that's another, that's all. I'm not going to go into it anymore. Since I'm on the subject of New Mexico, when you're out of the roads that have the trail roads that are all rocky and rutted and muddy, this is your other option. So I think I'm gonna find a detour to Santa Fe or maybe Route 66 or something. I'm not gonna film any more of it because it's not the Great Divide mountain bike route. I'll film a bit in Abiquiu, but I don't need to go through this. This is the 16 miles from El Rito, the capital of El Rito, to Abiquiu. And what it looks like to me is, if you ever watch Dateline, they're always like finding dead bodies out in places like this. So the only good thing is it's downhill, looks like, for 16 miles. But pretty, but I think I've seen enough. I hope everybody appreciates me stopping in the blazing sun on an uphill to bring you these interesting facts about the trail. But all along you see these little like pickets, fences that I guess, denote landowner's property. And it's very interesting. His goes up over the mountain. You would think they'd go around one way or another, but I guess that's how the survey went. I wish I could zoom in more, but you could see the signs up there, the posts up there. I thought that was pretty interesting. Here comes another car on the superhighway at 80 miles an hour that I have to worry about getting killed. Last video before I enter Abiquiu, and why I never trust the water sources on the navigation aids. That looks disgusting. I usually stop at the first place I get to. I always stop at the first place I get to. And Mamacita's Pizza sounds good, even though I'm sure Mamacita's not Italian. I think I'm just going to keep going on. I'm sure there's more. Last post until I get into Abiquiu. And I'm not a fan of New Mexico. Not sure I said that, but this part of the route with this wide shoulder is actually remotely safe, fairly safe. I just did 17 miles with no shoulder, and that was on the Great Divide bike route. It was not an alternate. Repeat, not an alternate. Anyway, coming in Abiquiu in a little bit, and I'm almost done filming for the day. So I am at the Abiquiu Inn. It's actually my last day right now, and I'm gonna go to Santa Fe, but I met this nice young gentleman who is third or fourth generation.
We've been here for 100 years, although we've been living in Wisconsin for 40 of those, mine. And let me tell you, this is no country for anyone who is upset about being held up by armed robbers, landing in cactus, finding roads that you can't tell if they're roads or not. They're kind of like, well, there's big rocks on the side of them and little rocks in the middle. And don't worry about the snakes, they're taking care of you.
Can you elaborate just for a little bit on if it's possibly, potentially, maybe dangerous riding on the highway or through a small town in New Mexico like Balancitos?
Well, the lucky thing about riding on the highways, it's not dangerous. They'll hit you, run you over, and they'll just keep going. Okay. Because they don't think you should be here on a bicycle. And I'm not exaggerating. As far as the little towns, Balancito, and other places, they live in a time warp. It's not even the 19th century. It's still the 18th century there. There's time warps. Okay. But it's perfectly safe. Don't worry about it. And if you go further south, there's a lot of radiation. Here we are, Los Alamos is further down. And even further down is White Sands Missile Range, where they've exploded nuclear weapons until 1955 on the surface, and I've seen them. But don't worry about it. It's like the Gila monsters, which is a state lizard, by the way. Gila monsters, they're poisonous lizards.
I mentioned everything but the Gila monsters. Oh, and just one very last thing, just two actually things. Can you just mention the part about the survivor part?
Oh.
Yeah.
On the ranch, there are no trespassing. Survivors will be prosecuted. Signs everywhere, just so people really understand how wonderful it is to be here in Nuevo Mexico.
But you like Mexico, New Mexico, right?
This is the land of enchantment, which is not necessarily a good term because it means the land of witchcraft and magic. The place has many times. It's 1,000 years ago there. It's today here. And just down the road It's still 1888.
And unfortunately, the bike route seems to go through the 1888 sections.
Well, yeah, but you didn't hit the landmines, so you have nothing to complain about. We normally mine these things to help the bikers like feel up.
Okay, and it doesn't matter, but just I had dinner with this nice young gentleman and his wife, and this guy's a very educated person. He's a medical doctor and all that good stuff. Not that that matters, but it adds a little credibility to what he's saying. Am I correct with that?
My entire family have been physicists, and we've worked for the government for 2 generations, and we've been here for 100 years, and we love New Mexico because, well, it is the land of enchantment.
Okay. Well, listen, you have a great trip to Wisconsin. It was a pleasure meeting you.